What's up, friends? There we go. Behold my beautiful face. All right, so it's time. It is time. Move the mic. This might be a little loud. Okay. All right, so it is time. I just ate some of my wife's pasta. She had to wipe it off of my face so I would look like a respectable human being. Yeah, she's nodding. Give it a thumbs up. Then I listened to a podcast on Growth Day, the Daily Fire, so I am pumped. I am ready. I'm here to serve, friends, and it is fetching time to begin. So we're going to jump right in to, behold, a course that I've decided I'm going to put together. And using ChatGPT, I've decided that I will call this course, where is it? Blockbusters, Demystifying Decentralization. Because I think it's hilarious. It's a beautiful name. So that's the name we're going to go with. And the goal and purpose of this course is to just break down all the building blocks of like decentralized, I should just say distributed ledgers. So like, what are all the pieces that you need to bring together to make a distributed ledger work? And it'll probably be like a 4-ish hour course, and I'm going to create an opt-in page. Anyone who opts in, it'll be free. Once I actually run through the whole thing and record it all, then I'll release it as a legit course that people can take and purchase. But before it's actually run, it'll be completely free, and I'm super excited about this. Like, I want to move into more of a blockchain agnostic area with my courses so they become a bit more timeless. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, first and foremost, like, I don't think we're going to be writing that much code in 2 years. I think that ChatGPT, different AIs, will be writing the code for us. But we will still need to understand the underlying concepts that the AI will be using to build these services. Otherwise, we can't describe those services or what we need precisely to the AI, and it won't be able to build it correctly. So the better that we can get at articulating, and I should say understanding, underlying concepts and principles, so that we can articulate them clearly, describe them clearly to an AI, the better developer we will be. So building these courses that are principle-based is also going to be very valuable from, like, or I'd also like to be able to target people who just know nothing about programming whatsoever, right? Like, I want to find that nice middle ground between, oh, we are super insanely technical right now, and we know nothing about technology. And I'd like to bridge that gap. So this course is going to be my first course to that means. And then on the right side, you can see that I was designing an item system for DadBod. Oh my gosh, it's so sexy. You guys don't even know. Well, maybe you do. I'm not sure, but it's gonna be great. And the item system, I got it done this morning. So later today, I'll be kind of throwing together some items and just kind of testing it out. And then I will be making some enemies. And the first enemy that I'm going to make is the teenage boy. You're going to have to protect your daughter from the teenage boy. It's going to be great. I'm so excited. I'm actually, my wife and I are expecting a little girl in July. Yep, I think that's right. I am horrible with dates. So, there we go. Little girl. So defending my daughter from the teenage boys, I think it's a noble and worthy cause. Sneak peek of DadBod. Be completely honest, Tori. Everything I've been building up until this point, like the past week and a half-ish, hasn't been visual beyond the question system. So I haven't done anything that's worth showing beyond the question system. But once I get the first enemy in play, like, there'll definitely be some alpha content. And my wife's been putting together she's been posting, and she's enjoyed putting together like knights in shining armor, and she made a turtle dragon, which I think just looks hilarious. Thanks, Tori. Like, I was hoping it was a boy, and so when I heard it was a girl, I was struck with fear for like 5-ish seconds, and then I decided I got this. To the degree that a man can have anything, really. Especially when it is in relation to women. So, yeah, there you go. We got this course coming up. Free opt-in, and I'll be announcing that. Then we have this, this item system. And I'm designing DadBot in such a way that other people can help me build it as well. Like, once I get to the point where we're selling enough and we're making enough money that it makes sense to bring someone else on. So I'm trying to document everything I build along the way so that people can get up and running real fast, because I do want to have other people help me build. Okay, so that is just some random announcements. Yeah, thanks, Tori. Like, honestly, I think she has as well. She's really taken ownership of it. She's been crushing it. Like, at least once a week, putting together some background, some portrait of some dad. Like, today she posted the knight in shining armor, and he looks great, honestly. He looks really good. So it's been a lot of fun to watch her do all of that. All right. So let us begin. I'm gonna kill Godot. Should not have Godot open while I'm trying to stream, or my computer will just choke and die. And we're gonna open up a Multichain IDO. So yesterday, we really dove into let's see if I can find it. What do we got? The Multichain IDO, and we designed it in Figma. And now our purpose and mission will be to take that beautiful knowledge that we have gained and this design and this description and get an AI to write some code for us. Overall, the UI is very simple. Just realized we probably need a connect wallet button. So here's what I'm gonna do. I want a bar across the top. Has the information we need, or maybe just slap the button over here on this right side. Definitely doable. Or I can just put it in the bottom right corner and make it float. Bottom left. Or I can just put it in the purchase area, because you can't purchase until you connect the wallet either way. Let's do that. So we're going to have a purchase screen, and it is going to have a connect wallet button. And I would like to use wallet connect or eco wallet. I don't care too much about others. So wallet connect it is. Wallet connect and eco wallet, which means I need a little pop-up. So let's expand this out. Let's get ChatGPT up in here. Come on, buddy. Make a new chat? I can, great. We're gonna do GPT-4. We can only ask 25 messages every 3 hours. I'm pretty sure I've already asked like 4 messages, which means I get like 20 more messages-ish to make all of this. So let us break it down by component. And I mean, we already have these 3 components up on the top, so let's just have ChatGPT make us those 3 components. So I am building an app in Flutter. I need a button component. So we're going to start with the button component. I'd like to have 2 different types. I'd like there to be a primary and a secondary. And I'm going to want this to be an inkwell, which is a button type that when you tap on it, it like does a little splash animation. I like them personally. So I'm going to need a button component, and I need a button component. So from my perspective, I don't really care about passing in a color. I think the 2 things that I really care about are when someone taps on it, and perhaps the button type. So like if it's a primary or a secondary, and just determining how it should look based on the button type. The last thing might be accepting a child widget that I can put inside of the button. So that might be something to look at. Let's see. I think that'd be good. And if I can make the child widget comply to perhaps a theme that's applied at the button, so that the child widget can just, like let's say I put some text inside of the button. I would love for the button, like the text, to be white if it's a primary button, and to be blue if it's a secondary button. So for example, what I'm trying to do here is I'd actually I want this to be another. So we got a button secondary, and actually I think I can make the button have different properties. Can I? Ooh, that used to be something I could do. Is it properties? Variant. Okay, that did a thing. If I add another one, yeah, there we go. No, stay in there. There you go. How do I? Just call you secondary. We'll call you primary. We'll just call this whole thing button. And then we'll figure out how to make them not be overlapping somehow. Okay, whatever. We can move you down when you get clipped. No! Why would you do this to me, Figma? How do we expand out? That worked. There we go. Okay. Okay. So the secondary button, the fill, will actually be blank, 0% here. The border, the stroke, will be our primary color. We want that to be a bit thicker, so maybe 4. 4 looks good. And then we want the button itself, the text, to be the primary color. So that's our secondary button right there. Get rid of this now. So this is the secondary button we'd like to make. From my perspective, though, I see this as one widget, and I'd like to be able to pass in the whether or not it's a primary widget. And being honest, it might be nice to actually be able to pass in like just a button type. So you can be like, it's a primary, it's a secondary, it's a success, it's a fail. And then just have the success and the fail. So let's just do that actually. Let's just add another variant. If I copy paste you, if I duplicate you, yeah, it makes another variant. Let's go. So make a success button. Nope. You know what? I want to duplicate this one. So this one will be a success. He will have. Okay. I have nice colors somewhere over here. Where are you? Which? Nope. Nope. Multichain IDO. Did I write it in here? Nope. Okay, maybe it's there it is. Found it. Okay. So we've got. We're just gonna pick a red. That looks good. Oh, this is a failure, or perhaps yeah, we'll call it failure. Then we'll have success, which will, instead of boom. So now we have our 4 button states. We have primary, secondary, failure, success. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm building a button component that has 4 different states. Primary, secondary, success, and failure. I need to button, I should say, button widget. Call it a custom button widget. Should accept a state, or I should say, instead of states, it's a type. Should accept a type, a child, yeah, a child, and an onTap function. Next up, we need button should use an inkwell, and the button should use an inkwell. How many projects do I think are right now on Kadena already built or building in total? I have no idea. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't stay super connected to what other people are doing. I mean, I can list off a couple. Like, you got Core Blocks, and they're going strong. You got Arcade, and they're doing pretty good. You got CAD Cars. You got Miners of Kadena. You've got, like, the Pitbull Bushido. So there's quite a few NFT projects. I know there are other, like, more official projects kind of backed by Kadena. Like, you got the no pool thing going on. Then you have, I mean, you got CADX as well, and I guess EcoDex now. So there's a couple. There's more than a couple. Lots of people going. If you go to the, like, Kadena ecosystem, you can see all of the projects that exist on, or that have, like, submitted to be on Kadena, or that they're building on Kadena. That's a pretty good resource. The button should use an inkwell. I don't know any insider information, dude. I am 100% on the outside. Can't help you. If you want insider information, I got nothing. So, the button should use an inkwell. Let's see. Let's start from the outside in. So, the type of button determines the background and border of the container. Guess the inkwell is actually going to wrap the whole thing. So we are going to have an inkwell with a container inside of it that the button should use an inkwell with a container inside it that handles the coloring based on type, as well as the theme of any text that is a child of the button. Of course, Anurag. I love building stuff. I'm here to serve. I do really enjoy building things, and doing something like this is like I get to learn so much crap. And this is I mean, I promised Kadena that I would do this. I guess I'm technically a grantee of Kadena to build this for them. So once I finish it, they want to bring me on to talk about the experience. So it'll be fun. All right, so we have our primary. All containers should have a border of 8. Background is font size 18. Let's try that. Oh wait, what's the font size here? Mr. Font size 24. Oh no, stop. Stop. I messed up. Dang it. Maybe I should type this somewhere else. Alright, secondary background is clear. Border has width of 4 and color 2980B9. Text theme is 2980B9. Success. Size. Text to children. Just so I can get rid of this font size is 24 for all these. Text theme is white. Text theme is that. Background is whatever this color is. That's not a text theme is white. Failure. Background is text theme is white. Okay. Let's do it. Show me what you got, ChatGPT. You're talking about the community call with the developers, Anurag? I was there. I think I was one of the only devs with his camera on. Okay, let's go. Sounds good. All right, we have an item. We have the custom widget class. Let's go. Stateless widget. That's perfect. That's what I expected. We have a child. We have a type. We have an on tap function. So far, everything looks as expected. So we have a get background color. Yeah, so I was there at the builder's call. Yep, you probably saw me. All right, this is looking good. We're getting our background color, border side, width 4. Okay, cool. I like it. I'm curious to see how it's going to handle text styles for children. So I'll be honest, like, I actually don't know how to pass themes down from a child. So we'll see how it handles that. So we got our inkwell on tap. Child is a container. Makes sense. Get our background color. From border side. Great. Yep, border radius is 8. Perfect. Default text style, merge. Oh, hey-o. Maybe we'll see if that works. I'm curious. Ooh. So that was pretty awesome. If you got, like, if all of this works as intended, that's gonna be great. Oh, use the custom. All right, he's still going. All right. Well, you know, I'm gonna copy this code. So step 1, we are going to create a widgets folder, and I'm gonna create a custom button widget. That's not how I'm supposed to write it. Custom button widget.dart, and we are just gonna copy this beautiful code right in here. And we're gonna see what happens. So I expect this to get angry-ish. Nope, no anger. Awesome. Default text style.merge. I love it. Cool. Really cool. Okay. And yeah, that's exactly how I'd expect to build it. Let's go ChatGPT. So we have our button, friends. We have our button. Next up, we need to build this mighty widget, our chain widget. So I'm going to say awesome, thanks. Now I need a chain widget that has a border of... I'm going to increase this because 1 looks kind of ghetto, but a 2 looks more legit, I think. So it has a border of 2. Now I need a chain widget that. So the chain widget is a column. It's got a background that has a background. Has a background color of whatever this is. A border of 2. Radius 8. Border color is, I think it's this. It's kind of grayish. Inside the widget is a column. I should say the widget needs to accept a chain, an on tap function, and an amount. Say a value type, which is a string, and an amount of that type. So that's like, for example, there's 1000 LZ, there's 1000 KDA. That's the type that you're working with. So that's that. Widget needs to accept a chain, on tap function. The widget will have 2 states, selected, unselected. When it is selected, the background color should change to change this to an onSelect function. The widget have an inkwell as its base. The widget will have two states, selected and unselected. When it is selected, the background color should change to, what shall we change it to? I guess we'll need to create a variant of this guy as well. Properties, variant. Oh. No. So background color, let's say right now it's blue. I guess you guys can't see the back. Let's see. Maybe if we go for a reddish. Is that a good selection color? Or should I maybe copy like the color of my button? Or maybe I could do the green. Let's copy the green. I like that. So we've got our green. An onSelect function. The widget needs to accept a chain, an onSelect function, a value type, chain, this will be a string as well, a value type, and an amount of that type. The widget will have an inkwell as its base. The widget will have two states, selected, unselected. When it is selected, the background color should change to that and call the onSelect function. So I can respond to that. And let's see how he does. He even transferred the chain widget into like an actual chain widget. Yep, so stateful widget. This is exactly how I'd make it so far. He used num. I don't think num actually exists. So he's got a value changed bool. Interesting. So instead of a function, you would listen to that. So he might need to teach me how to use that. Yep, so we've got it split up between our stateful widget and then the widget's state. So that's perfect. This is precisely what we would expect. Awesome. It's got inkwell with toggle selected, set state, selected, widget, dot onSelect, selected. Okay, got it. So you call this onSelect function up here. I guess that triggers an event of some kind. So we've got the chain, font size 24, colors white. So he kind of chose the colors for us. It's pretty nice. He decided that this was going to be a title. So we got a font size of 24 versus a font size of 18. So our chain up here is 24 and this is 18. I'm fine with that. And this is how. Okay, so we got our onSelect code, which I guess is just a function. I guess that works. So we got the colors, we got the border side, all that good stuff. Yeah, so we even said it was a Bitcoin. That's funny. Right. So now we're going to make our chain widget. So we paste our chain widget, and then we copy this chain state, we paste that in, and there we go. go. We're off to the races. And I'm going to add just a constant here, just because it'll make the application function a bit better. That's what the blue means. It means that I can slap a const. Okay. So we have our chain widget and we have our custom button widget. The last widget we need is our input widget. And actually num did work. I'd never used num before. An integer or floating point number. All right, good to know. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, well, so far ChatGPT is really pulling us through. Being honest, I probably could have written these components faster than I was able to describe them, but that's all right. Let us continue. So we have, now I need an input widget. Has a title with an input text below it. Some of my inputs will accept, I should say I would like to, let's get a bit more ambiguous with this description so I can just write it faster and see how well he does, yeah? So I need an input widget that has a title with an input text below it. I would like to be able to tell the input widget the kind of input it's allowed to accept. Text, numbers, text or numbers. Yep, so like the source chain count and the target chain count. So I guess these will all be numbers actually, huh? So these will all just be numbers. Huh. So let's just keep that anyways. Width 2, white. Background should be black. The text should be white. The input title should be font size 24. Bold. And that's it. So there it is. Follow the code below. First, create an enum to represent the allowed input types. Perfect. Next, create the input widget class. Stateless widget. Yep, makes sense. You know what? I think I need to be able to respond to the input. So I think I need to pass a function in here for like on change. So I can detect when things change, maybe. I also need to be able to pass in a default. So let's see. Probably need to get ChatGPT to rebuild some of this for me. Defines an input widget class that accepts the title, an input type, and a text editing controller. Oh, you know what? The text editing controller can be used to pass in the text. So that works perfectly fine. And I can use the text editing controller. Yeah, he thought ahead. So this is perfect. So we're just gonna make another widget. It's gonna be called input widget. All right, ChatGPT, let's go, dude. You are killing it. And so far, he hasn't written any code that hasn't worked, which, I mean, is pretty dang good. So we got 2 imports here. So that just needed to be above the enum. And he imported services, which wasn't necessary, so I can get rid of that. And I'm just gonna add a constant here. Input widget. Oh, you probably want this super.key. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So I can set the text, and I can also respond to the text using the text editing controller. Perfect. That's perfect. Great. Okay. And he did use a column, axis start, with the title and the text field. A gorgeous keyboard type chosen by the input type. So we got that already. Honestly, I can probably just make this a bit more flexible by getting rid of the input type and just using the text input type here. But great. Okay, we have our widgets. So we now are able to build this page for ourselves. And I mean, let's get down to it, shall we? Probably got about 15 more minutes before I'm gonna hop off and continue on my way doing something else. So let's see if we can build this page in the next 15 minutes with ChatGPT. All right, so I kind of have, I guess, another widget here that is meant to render all of my chains. And I can break this into 3 separate widgets. So we got Multichain IDO up at the top. Then we have my funds. Then we have purchases. And both of these will be built using the same functionality. It's like the same information will be used to build both. Meaning I will have a list of chains. So probably an object or a map that has all of my chains, 0 through 19. And that can be used to build this UI. So I would expect this widget then to be a list, or to render a list of chain widgets. And to also hold a list, where would I put that? I need to store a list of all of my widgets somewhere. Or not all my widgets, but all of the currently selected widgets somewhere. So where would I put that? I don't really want to put it in this widget. That doesn't sound like a good place for it. I'd probably create some kind of service using getIt. So the first thing we need is a service. Need a service interface that can see. So I want this interface to run the data of my app. So I need an interface that can work with what information does it need to have? Let's break this down a bit. Okay, so I need a service that will store the selected chains. Both the source chains and the target chains. So I need to store both of those pieces of information. It should be able to both accept a list of chains and update the UI with the selected list of chains. Okay, so that's important. The chain widget, can it? So it will always start with false, and that is not something that I want, because I want to be able to tell it to like push down on top of it and say, hey, you're selected, like at the time of your creation. I also would like to be able to kind of pull up and say, like, when it's selected, it'll tell other people that it was selected. So that is an interesting problem. What do I do there? What do I do? What do I do? I just need to pass in whether or not it's selected into the widget itself. So I'm not going to have ChatGPT do that for me. I'm just going to pass that in right here. Selected. Can default to false. Do you need help? Widget can't be accessed in an initializer, so we need to override. Sorry, that's kind of a little loud. My wife just got home with groceries. GitHub Copilot. Boom. So we can set selected equal to false. Widget on select selected. There we go. Okay. And that should solve that problem. So now I can tell a widget that it is selected, and that it started selected, and that it's happy. Okay. So next up, I need a service to be able to both accept a list of chains and update the UI with the selected list of chains. I'm going to say these chains will be maps. From the chain ID 0, 1, 2, 2. Will it be a map? Do I care about the map? What do I care about? I suppose that the selected list chains would just be a set. Selected chains will be sets of chain IDs. 0, 1, 2, da, da, da. Okay, so selected chains will be sets of chain IDs, and depending on the chain ID, it will be selected or not. Okay, so I still need a service that will store all of this information. I know now that all of the sets or chains will be sets. And let's see, what else? What other information do I need? So if I have all the selected chains, I know I'll need another service that will like kind of store all the information from a connected wallet. So I'll need to set something like that up, but I want that service will be distinctly separate. Service. So we need a service to handle a connected wallet, but that's distinctly separate from like the information of my app itself. Store the selected chains. I will also need all of the chain data. So contract data, how many tokens exist on each chain. Also account data, how many tokens exist for our, we'll just say it's purchasing tokens the user owns. So we've got contract data, how many tokens exist on each chain. We have account data, how many purchasing tokens the user owns. And that information will be a map. That information will drive these little blocks. It will be used to build each of the little blocks. Okay. Now the question is, do I combine those two? Do I put all of them in the same place? And I think for simplicity, that is what I'll do. So that'll be the last thing I build, and then I'm gonna say we're done for the day. Let's see what we've got. So, okay, I need an interface that can be used with get it to do the following. 1. Store a list of chains, a map of chains to an account object. To a Kadena account object. So a Kadena account has a string account and an amount. Okay, so the service we use with getIt to do the following. Store a map of chains to a Kadena account object. This information will be filled in using Packed API. Store a map of chains to Kadena account objects. This information by querying my IDO smart contract. This information will be filled in using the Packed API by querying the user's connected account object. Okay. Third list of I'm going to call these the origin accounts, the target accounts, call them chains instead. Whatever, we'll call them accounts. A set of selected target accounts, a set of selected origin accounts. The origin accounts should be loaded in when the chain ID, and just the fact that I had to say that means that I'm gonna do this in a different order. Okay, so first things first, we need to build a an interface and implementation of the following that can be used with getIt. So one has an account that can be watched for changes. So he has a network and network ID loaded in from Dart defines. So we have a network and network ID loaded in from Dart defines. We have the active chains. I guess in this context we don't care about active chains. We just want to query all of them. We don't have the active chains. The list of active chains. And what else we got? Also loaded in from Dart defines. So list of active chains loaded from Dart defines. Network and network ID loaded in from Dart defines. Let's say a list of transactions. And list of let's just do that for now. I can actually double check. So back send response. We have back send request. Back API error. Back results. We'll just have a list of transactions, packed results. And then we'll have a list of errors. Let's see. No, we'll just not include that for now. That's fine. Don't know if I want it. Don't know if I'll need it. Service should emit an event when there is a new transaction. When a transaction is completed with a completer will finish when the future of the transaction is complete. See how that does. So honestly, I have this Kadena SDK, and it knows nothing about the Kadena SDK. So my guess is that it's gonna kind of try to fail to make this happen properly. Okay. So that's interesting. I wouldn't have expected it to do it this way. Yep. So that's kind of what I expected for the packed result. Our developer as developer. I've never seen that before. I don't know what that is. My service interface. I thought the network ID was an integer. That's my bad. I should have told it it was a string. This makes sense. Getting the active chains from the environment. Cool. Let's see. We have our list of transactions. Very nice. We have a stream controller. I'm curious to see what that is used for. Oh, that's for the events, for listening for new streams, new objects. Okay, interesting. So watching the account. It's a weird implementation of watching the account. I would have used a value notifier. So he didn't fully understand what I wanted with this. Okay. But he got the server, like the registration and all that. That looks good. Okay, well, I am not really gonna copy this. I'll probably, well, I will. Let's copy it. So we have Kadena service. Got our packed result, and I'm not going to worry about the error because that exists inside of my SDK here. So not super worried about it. And what else we got? Good. All right, Multichain IDO. developer.log. Okay, that's what that's for. All right. Okay. I think I need to rename this. Yep, Kadena service. Oh, that should be Kadena service. There we go. We have a Kadena service. It's got our account, it's got our network ID, it's got our active chains. And tomorrow we will continue working on this. And this service is what's going to be used to basically connect to wallets, whether that be an extension, whether that be Wallet Connect. This service is going to be the source of truth for all the information coming from the wallet and for calling functions on the wallet. There we go. ChatGPT is pulling us through. It's going pretty well. I'm pretty satisfied with the progress we made. Like we built 3 widgets. We started writing 2 of our services that ChatGPT will hopefully be able to put together, depending on how we do. And there we go. So tomorrow we'll keep cruising through on this. Have a wonderful Tuesday, guys. Let's go, strivers.